Hi, and welcome to episode 34. Tonight, you're going to join us for just a little discussion of how traveling as just a couple has changed us just a wee bit. Here we go. Hi, welcome to the continuing adventures of Two Gray Mice. I'm Meg.
And I'm Rob.
And we are Two Gray Mice. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Margaret.
How are you this evening?
I'm tired.
Me too. It's been a long week.
Yeah, I am thankful that I have employment. I am not thankful that we're doing overtime.
No,
No,
I understand that completely and totally.
no, especially when overtime is hundreds of little 2-inch wells. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a long week of silliness myself. And I want to know where spring is. I'm tired of waiting.
It's right around the corner. Right around the corner.
Yep.
It'll be here any week now.
Right. And I think it was 90 over the weekend in Florida. So they've skipped spring. They were like, nope, no more spring for you. We're going to go right on to something else. But today we're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to travel together as a couple after having traveled, of course, for years with children. And after almost 35 glorious, fun-filled years of marriage, now we travel alone. Rob's booping the microphone with his nose. It might get silly. By asking each other questions and just kind of figuring out, what changed, what didn't change, and maybe helping that other couple that's out there that is about to become empty nesters and is going to start traveling by themselves because their kids are old enough to hang out by themselves or whatever, and how to approach it.
So, I remember traveling with the kids, and we had fun trips.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of not so fun
Trips. Yep.
things that went on during the trips.
As always.
But and not to give our children the wrong impression, but I love traveling with our kids.
It makes it a lot easier. But also we're traveling without kids and our best friends kind of look at us like we're crazy. You're going where again? Why?
Well, it's not so much. It makes it easier. It makes it easier in the sense that it's just the two of us, our ideas, and it's not like a team of four.
Yeah.
Where everybody's got an opinion and it
Right.
takes twice as long to figure out the next step.
Right. I'm not looking forward to the conversation to figure out what trips we're going to take when we're in Alaska.
Right. And yeah.
Yeah. But, we're adults and we go as adults to amusement parks. And you kind of started this.
I did. It's all my fault.
It's all your fault. So, what made you 5 years ago decide that as adults, our first really big, because that was our first, we could go anywhere. We're going to go for a full week, just the two of us. You picked Disney.
Yep.
Why?
We had a week. It was my 60th birthday.
Yes, it was.
And I wanted to have fun. We hadn't been down there in a while at that point. And I had a Jones. I did. I remember you were a little, her? You want to go where?
Right. I was expecting Europe, France, Ireland,
right,
anywhere in the world, and you went Disney World.
A riverboat trip down the Seine, something along those lines. No. He wants to go to Orlando. And as it turned out, it was a magnificent trip. From start to finish. I don't remember having a bad time while we were there.
No, I don't.
Yeah. And we did do a bunch of planning before heading down there.
Right, because we hadn't been down there and things had changed.
Right. That got that whole other thing perking.
Right. This was the trip that sent me down the line of being a travel advisor.
Yeah. Yeah.
down the line.
Yeah, you slipped right down that hole.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question. I mean, it was Disney. It's a couples thing. What about that trip that made you say, "Wow, this is something that we can do as a couple more than like." At the end of that trip, we both looked at each other and said, "We're going to be back as a couple."
Right. Okay. So we went down for our honeymoon.
Right.
We'll say that straight out. We spent our honeymoon at Walt Disney World.
Right. And we kind of
Drove down in my 1988 Volkswagen Fox, packed to the gills.
back to the gills
Stayed at Caribbean Beach.
when it was the Value Resort.
Yeah, and
It was brand new.
It was 2 years old at that
Or
point.
yeah, not quite, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
And we had a great time for a number of reasons, but we didn't go back for the longest time.
no, not until Kate was 6.
Yeah. So I think going back there as adults really woke me up to the fact that you don't have to have kids to enjoy the Magic Kingdom. You really don't. You don't have to have kids to go on the safari trek.
No. Or Peter Pan.
Well, I mean,
It's Peter Pan.
it's Peter Pan. If I could go on it twice or 3 times in the same day, I would.
So
It woke me up. I think it woke both of us up to the fact that
yeah.
there's an awful lot to offer. People, and you were right, you mentioned it before, some of our friends are a little dismissive of our enjoyment of Walt Disney World. I tell them they don't know what they're missing. I don't think you have to be a mousehead to appreciate the entertainment, the decoration, the experiences, the rides, to really enjoy it. You don't have to be a kid,
Right.
and you don't have to be, a mouseketeer either.
No. And it's like that trip kind of started everything, and it got me thinking. We both came back saying, "We're going back down." And this time we wanted to bring the kids, and we brought my sister, and we had a great time, the 5 of us. But that started us being our kind of getaway as a couple, which was at first kind of surprised how much both of us wanted to go back down so quickly. How even after that trip, we were both like, "All right, when can we come back down again?"
Yeah,
And
and so I think it's like that every time we go down.
oh yeah,
Maybe a week or 2. We start thinking about next time.
right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we went down for that Christmas, and then we were back down for my birthday. But we did Universal for the most part that time. And then we were there for Halloween. That was that year we were like just one right after another. And somehow or another, as a couple, it's kind of become our thing.
Okay.
I mean, do you disagree?
No, I'll own it. I
It's
will.
yeah. I mean, I just got back off the Disney Wish. The first thing you said to me was what?
I wanna go.
Yeah.
But that was because I heard, the last half hour of the episode that you were doing by yourself.
Right. Right. So you heard my excitement and what was going on and how Disney it is, service wise, everything.
Right. And
So
that's another thing too. I mean, we'll talk about that very briefly right now. I appreciate the level of hospitality that's extended to me for the most part when we're down there, and it's extended to everybody. It's a company ethic that just translates all the way down through every single cast member. There's no problems. There's just opportunities. And I can go on and on the number of times where we've had something go awry and some cast member has been there to set everything right again.
yeah.
And you can say it's expensive, and sure, it's expensive. A lot of trips these days are expensive. I just never get bored of the way I'm treated when I'm down there.
No. And there's always something else we can kind of figure out and finagle and do whatever the case may be. There has been times when we've gone down where, of course, I'm more enthused about something than you are. or vice versa. But I also think that the one who's more enthused kind of affects the other one and pulls them along.
Well, I think too.
Or
I,
I don't
I
know.
I think too. We've learned over time uh, uh, to open ourselves up to new stuff,
Yeah.
even within our travels. As a couple,
Mhm.
that certainly helps.
N- Now, of course, since you turned 65, in the past 5 years, we've gone down several times. We've done Universal. We did the 3 days at Epcot, Epic Universe.
Epic universe. You're
We've
going to
done,
edit that one out, right?
nope, you leave the mistakes in, it makes you human.
Okay.
Um, we've done the Virgin Voyages cruise. We're planning another Virgin Voyages cruise. We've just done Fall Creek Falls. What what do you think you've learned in the last 5 years where it's just been us traveling about us?
All right.
Or
Here's what I've learned, and this started, years and years ago. We're curious by nature. We go someplace, and the first thing we want to do is find out a little bit more about the place. What's odd and interesting about the place? It's led us down some paths that have been just wonderful and created some great memories. Um, and really, it kind of gets back to the reason why we travel together to begin with, you know, to get away from the house for a little bit, to get away from our roommates for a little bit.
that we the children?
Uh, I can call them roommates if I
I know,
want.
but the people out there we're speaking to may not know that our roommates and our children are the same humans.
But, we go out to enjoy ourselves. And that level of enjoyment takes many different forms. I mean, sometimes it's a relaxing evening. Sometimes it's a really fun morning. It depends what we're into.
Right. Right.
But, it's always better together.
Yeah, it is. And when I learned, you were turning 60 and you start,
You keep bringing up that age thing.
well, whatever. But it's that point in time where you're starting to think about retirement. Tomorrow, what are you going to do? No, not going to work every day. And part of me was like, wow, we're going to be together a lot. Or, you know what I'm saying? And you kind of like, it gets a little niggly at the back of your head. And we started traveling together. And I went, traveling together, I think, has brought us closer together, even though I don't think we were ever not close because we got to know each other again without kids, without the roommates, without friends around. We were exploring new things. We were experiencing new things and we were doing it together.
Just the two of us.
I'd sing together
Sorry.
too, but I can't sing. But do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I totally get it.
And
Yeah,
and I think it's
and
like
for
a precursor to retirement.
but I can see for some couples how it could be difficult.
Right. Like practice, a little practice, get a little practice in
Right.
to spending a little more time together.
We've had some awful, awful trips.
We have,
Awful.
we have, and some trips.
Hmm.
You know, some great trips with some really bad days in them.
I like those.
Great trips with bad days.
One bad day.
One bad day.
We can have one bad day. But like our last trip,
Yeah.
you could have said that fateful evening where the candlelight processional did not proceed as a bad evening or bad day,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we were still laughing our butts off
Right. We still
all
enjoyed
the way
ourselves.
back to the room,
Yeah.
squishing all the way.
Way until
Yeah.
until the air conditioning hit. We both went, "Oh, okay, I'm
Whoa,
really cold."
where's the thermostat?
Yeah, completely. But I mean, so thinking back on our trips, I mean, what's the worst trip we've ever been on?
I don't want to go and grade them all.
I can't even think of a really bad trip.
I can.
Which one?
The Cabana Bay cruise
Oh,
that never
that was a
materialized.
that was a good trip with the bad ending.
Okay, yes, it was a good trip with a bad ending.
And actually, I guess that was probably our worst argument, but it really wasn't an argument because you just stopped speaking to me for 2 days.
It was 36 hours of hostility,
So
passive aggressiveness the
so
entire way home.
we had, the ability to go on a Royal Caribbean cruise, the Utopia of the Seas, with my, curated travel collection,
And at this point,
and it was gonna be inexpensive. I had just started. It was, like, my first year.
right, but at this point, I hadn't been on a cruise
You had not been on a cruise.
outside of
The Cunard
going
cruises.
across
Right. Well,
on the
I had
Kiwi too.
neither. I had neither.
Yeah.
And so this was gonna be our first cruise after 25 years of trying to get Rob on a cruise ship. But first, we're gonna spend 3 days at Cabana Bay at Universal Studios, and we're gonna explore the 2 parks that are open and see our good friend Mickey who lives down there, which we did and had a great time. And we did the 1 day at Epcot for my birthday.
Yep.
And then this was, near the tail end of COVID, but you still had to test for COVID on
In
a
order to
video
get
recorder
right, in
with a
order to
nurse
get
to get
on a
on the ship. Yeah,
Well, P.S.,
we had COVID.
we had COVID. And Meg will tell you that, like, as soon as I saw the test results on the thing,
He felt fine
right up until
until
that point.
someone said he had
Yeah.
COVID. And then all of a sudden
Right
he's
up
like,
until that
I have a fever. I don't feel good. And he went into bed. I'm like, you're kidding me.
So,
We canceled our flights home, canceled the cruise.
right, because we can't get in a can,
No, we didn't want to give the free world
right,
anything.
and can't get on a train.
Right. And we had to leave Cabana Bay because there's no
'Cause
room
there's
service.
no room service. So we rented a car and drove home to New York. Like I said, it was a long ride. Yeah, and then we got home, and our roommates
We're furious that we showed up at home
didn't
because
want to let us in the house
because they hadn't gotten it yet either.
I'm like, wait a minute, this is
It was
my
not a
house.
good time. And we learned like little things like all the Wendy's on the way home, their lobbies weren't open yet. And it was just
It was a weird.
it was a weird
ride
definitely
home.
it turned into our worst vacation from what should have been a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, we chuckle
Mhm.
and we make jokes. I was thoroughly blown away by Cabana Bay.
Oh, it's great.
I thought again, and this is something I think, I don't know how I'm delving off into this tangent, but this is something I think Universal does better than Disney. The getting to the parks by just walking out of your hotel and doing down a nice leisurely stroll, and oh, there you are.
Right. And the one time we took the boat back from the parks to Sapphire Falls, which is just across the street,
Yeah.
with a bridge that you could take over.
Yeah. The pedestrian walkway.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. We had a lovely time. It was just that, that unhappy ending.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, outside of that, we've had, like you said, a bad day here or there.
Right. I mean,
We've learned, I think, okay, so maybe this is part of it. We've learned over time that prior planning is very, very important. And I think that kind of, I don't know, again, ties into our natural curiosity and the fact that we want to know what's going on, where we're going.
Right.
Um,
And we also have a little more like with the rainstorm. There's things out of your control. There's no point in screaming at the wind. And, I say that all the time. There's no point in screaming at the wind. It's still going to blow. And even when it is your fault, like, kind of, you know what I'm saying? But I'll never forget, we had to go to a family wedding, your family. And the instructions between the church and the reception hall were horrible. And everybody got lost.
everybody.
And as one couple showed up and the next couple showed up, they were fighting in the car.
I remember this.
Because of the
the
instructions
two
were
of us-
wrong.
The two of us
show
roll
up
out,
and we're
out of
laughing.
the car in the parking lot.
And we're like, we made it. Woohoo! And everybody's like, you guys aren't pissing each other? We're like, we got lost. Yeah. But what am I'm going to he's going to get mad at me because the instructions are wrong or because I told him to take a right instead of a left? That's not going to change anything. Why?
Yeah,
But everybody was mad.
I do remember
Everybody
that.
was mad at each other. Your
I
parents,
do remember that.
Andy and Patty, everybody was mad at each other.
And we were the only two who
We
were
were the only
smiling.
two that were smiling and having a good time.
Yeah.
And we got everybody else going, but
It's just like relax.
Relax. There's no point in doing anything.
Right. And I will, okay, now that we're talking about relaxing,
Yeah.
I will say that adopting that mindset of it's going to happen as it happens is indispensable when doing things like theme parks. It's
Yeah. I mean, we have a
indispensable.
plan,
Yeah.
but when it rains,
But
the ride breaks down.
proceed as way opens.
Proceed as way opens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in traveling together, have you learned anything about me that surprised you in all of our traveling that we've been doing now?
You pick up the tab more than I thought you would.
I always pick up the tab. We always, Mr. Oh, I forgot my wallet at home. He
But
does it all the
man,
time. Oh, I
I'm,
forgot my wallet at home.
I'm right on the tip amount though.
Oh, yeah. You're always right on the tip amount. Yep. Math is not always my friend.
Yeah. What have I learned about you? Oh, you're very flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I knew you were flexible, before we got married, but you have a way of negotiating life that's authoritative but
Right.
easy.
And what I've learned is you have to have a plan. There can't be a day where we can just say, we're just going to relax this day, or we're just going to go with the flow. The flow has to have a direction. Like our day off, we're going to get up and we're going to go explore all the deluxe resorts and see the trees.
Right. But that was kind of funny.
Oh no, but I'm saying if we don't have, I find if I don't have that flow for you, you just kind of like want to read a book or watch TV, or you kind of
Well, that was the thing that
wander a
threw
little
me
lost.
because, like, I'm reading the schedule for that trip, and it's a day off, and then we get to talking about the trip, and it's not really a day off. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening during the day off, and I was like, no, wait, a day off is a day off.
Right, that
Oh,
was
no,
a day
no,
off
no,
from the
but we have
parks.
this to do and that to do. Well, then it's not a day off, is it?
Right. Well, but like,
Could be a morning off,
but even on the
an
cruise,
afternoon.
we had that one day at sea, and you were like lost, and you were just like hung out, and I'm like, there's things we could do, and you're like, why? So like, I find that you just need a little direction
That
sometimes.
that day for me, as I recall, I really just wanted
Yeah,
a chill day, and I was
enjoy.
still
Yeah, and
getting
I don't always do
accustomed.
chill well.
Right, and I was still
Either.
getting accustomed to the fact that it didn't matter what window I looked out of, I wasn't seeing any land. That
That freaked him out. But yeah,
that just gets me,
going. Yeah,
me
well, at least
going.
when we go to Alaska, when you look out the windows, you'll see land.
I know. I'm very excited.
Yeah, on
I'm
either
very
side.
excited. I'm bringing binoculars this time.
You have to bring binoculars. That's how you see the whales.
Yeah, but I know sometimes we're gonna be far enough away that you might not see the land.
Okay.
But you'll see it with binoculars,
Okay.
and it will make me feel better.
All right. But yeah,
They have plenty of lifeboats, right?
No,
No, you're kidding me, right?
honey, it's illegal not to have plenty of lifeboats.
Oh, that was I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm gonna right turn. When we were on the Scarlet Lady, I am just absolutely fascinated with something, and you looked at me and said, "What are you looking at?" And I remember looking at you and saying, "I'm just looking at the contraption that they raise and lower the lifeboats with. It's pretty sophisticated."
He's like totally checking out the winch system and everything else. And I mean, actually, you reminded me, we're on the Wish, and Dave, who's the owner of Curator Travel Collection's husband and partner, used to run the Port of Charleston. So the docking and pilot boats and all, he finds that fascinating. The moment we approached any port, he was like leaning over the edge of the ship to watch the pilot boat come and the tugboats and everything else, like a little kid. It reminded me of you when, you get that little thing.
Well, we were doing it when we were on the Scarlet
Oh, yeah.
Lady, when we got to Punta Plata and
Oh.
the harbor boat came out,
Yeah.
and they did that little handoff while the
Yeah.
boat's still moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're just gonna
the guy
hop
just
from
like
one
hopped
moving
on. I'm
boat
like,
to another
okay.
one.
So who packs better, you or me?
Me.
What makes you say that with such authority?
Oh, because I am a Tetris maven.
Yeah, but I mean, do you have everything? Okay, he packs better. I forget something every single time. Every time. Who spends more money when we're on vacation without realizing it?
I do.
Correct. Who spends more money without realizing it before we go on vacation?
You do.
Correct. I when we're planning the vacation, I'm always, "Oh, it's okay if we do that upgrade. Oh, we can do this. Oh, just little." So I take the vacation up a little bit, and then once we're on vacation, Rob's like, "Here we go." And that's when we go on vacation, that's when I go, "Oh, no, we spent too much money."
Uh, I can always tell when we've hit the point too.
Yeah. Has there ever been a moment when you generally thought, "I just wanna go home now"?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so our last trip down. Sorry. Sorry, our trip to California,
Disneyland.
Disneyland. There was that one day where the temperatures were in the 50s. I started,
You got
cramping
cold.
up.
Yep, you were
I
cold.
got cold. You were nowheres near ready to call it a day.
No, it was like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, but, we're also a little, punchy from the time difference and all, but yeah. And all I wanted to do was go back to the hotel room.
Yep.
If I could have wiggled my nose, I would have gone home.
Ding-a-ding.
He was right here. He's got the room key, for crying out loud. Good, hit me with another one.
Well, the next question we've already kind of answered. Looking back, what's the
There's
thing that seemed like a
questions?
disaster at the time that you can now laugh about? I would say getting COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you wrote that question down. What's the most ridiculous thing we've ever argued about on a trip? I I I don't know. It seems like
We don't
we
argue a lot.
we argue about something ridiculous on every trip,
Yeah.
but it's always short-lived, and it usually comes up again later in the day as a joke.
Have you ever been and I don't wanna put this in a way that sounds degrading, especially since I became a travel advisor. Have you ever been right about some aspect of the trip planning that I was incorrect about?
That I wanna discuss publicly? No, absolutely not.
Wow, that just gave you an opportunity to take me down a notch. You're like, "Nope, I'm not
And
doing it."
my mama taught me right. I seem to remember there was one trip where we were talking about doing A, B, and C, and I said, "Oh, then we gotta get up, at the crack of dawn and get some food downstairs real quick and get over there," and you were like, "La, la, la, da," and I think you lollygagged it out the hotel and, lollygagged it into the park, and I think we wound up spending most of the morning trying to get back on track.
Probably, yeah, yeah. Um, has me being a travel advisor changed the way we travel or changed how we feel about traveling? Like
It hasn't changed how we feel. It has changed how we travel because I no longer have to go through all this stuff. I simply open up an email and there's all this stuff there.
true, true. But then at the same time, I also kinda, like, give you tasks.
You do give me homework, yes.
So, I mean, does that, like, get in the way? Is it, like, hard to kinda like, "Okay, I have to do all this stuff for Meg too, and Meg's working on this for the travel
Well, so
agency," and
far,
then
I'm getting, A's and B's on my homework assignments. I mean, if I
Oh, yeah,
start
yeah,
getting
yeah.
C's or D's regularly, then yeah, it's going to become a bore.
Are we getting better at this traveling thing?
Oh, I hope so.
Me too. I still need to get better at packing. I'm a chronic overpacker.
I think the
And then I'll
last
still
time,
forget my bras.
I think the last time I think the last time we got set to go on vacation, it was about 10 days out. I was like, we were going to get the suitcases down. And you just paused and you turned and looked at me and said, stop.
Yeah,
And I was like, what?
right, because you'll get the suitcase down and
So
you'll,
we didn't
like,
get the
put
suitcases
things
down,
in it,
but you
put
came
things
in and then
here, things
gave me the business because there were a couple of piles of very, very neatly folded
right.
stuff at the end of the bed, just waiting for a suitcase.
Well, especially when we're going to Florida because we're going in January, so, you gotta break out the summerish clothes and stuff, but yeah, and I'm the night before, whip out the suitcase, open the drawers. I have it all planned in my head, at least I think I do. So, for other couples that wanna travel more, what advice would you give them besides just do it?
Okay. Besides just do it?
Besides just do it.
All right. So speaking for us,
Yeah.
or actually, I don't
Speaking
want
for
to speak
yourself,
for
yes,
you.
I know.
Speaking for myself, I think finding the experience that appeals to both of you while it can sometimes be laborious, is really the biggest make it or break it for a trip.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say, we're going to take this trip and go here because that's where you really want to go. But then the next trip, we'll go someplace that I really want to go. A, that's never been us. But B, I don't ever see how that
works.
Because
you just don't want to be there. You'll be wanting to wiggle your nose and go home.
Right.
And as you were saying that, the trip that popped into my head was for our 30th wedding anniversary. We had a great trip planned. It was the very end of COVID. I work for the federal government. I was not allowed to leave the state of New York, we found out. So there went the big trip. And we ended up going to Letchworth State Park in New York.
The Grand Canyon of the East.
Grand Canyon of the East. Beautiful park.
And you didn't know an awful lot about it before I tossed it out there.
No,
and
not at all.
We found a really cute Airbnb that was 4 minutes away from the one end of the park. It was April. We didn't have the warmest weather in the world.
But it turned out beautifully anyway.
But it was gorgeous. But the kicker was we were 45 minutes away from Buffalo.
Right.
And all of that Frank Lloyd Wright stuff.
So we had a week. It was not going to take a week to do the state park. You had been mentioning it for a while. It wasn't really high on my list. I love nature. I love hiking. But spending a week at a park was not something I was looking forward to. But we stopped in the
Corning
Glass Works, which was amazing. We were a half hour south of Buffalo. So there's several Frank Lloyd Wright houses there. We spent a day at Niagara Falls. We went to the Frank Lloyd Wright house that's on the lake. And how many? I think we had a different brew pub every night.
We hit 2 brew pubs every day at least.
So,
and we never the same one twice.
No. So what I find we do that makes traveling together when it's something that maybe wasn't on our bucket list for both of us is Rob loves to go to brew pubs. I like cideries. Rob loves Frank Lloyd Wright. So do I. I love museums. So this day we're going to do this, and we intersperse what both of us like.
Flip-flop.
And so that no one's spending an entire day going, it's all about you.
Yeah, but like I was saying earlier, it's.
I mean, we have a lot in common too. I mean, being best friends as well as a couple helps.
I'm not your friend.
Whatever.
You just treat me nice. No, it's a joint trip.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be a joint endeavor.
Right. So that we're a couple taking a trip together and not 2 people in the same space.
Right. So negotiating. Okay. So perfect. Me and you.
Yeah.
Point.
Mm-hmm.
When we took the transatlantic voyage on the QE2, we went from Southampton to London. While we were in London, we stayed in London for 4 days.
Yep.
While we were in London, you really wanted to go to Tudor Castle. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. Windsor Castle, sorry. You really wanted to go to Windsor Castle.
Yes.
I wanted nothing to do with it.
Absolutely
I wanted to go to Legoland.
Which
Legoland
luckily
is in Windsor.
Right.
So we compromised.
Half day in Windsor Castle.
Half a day in Windsor Castle and half day at Legoland.
Right.
And I remember how blown away you were as we were wandering around Legoland and how in awe I was.
Especially of St. George's Cathedral.
As we were
wandering around Windsor Castle.
Yeah. Just amazing.
No.
And that's an awful lot to me.
Yeah, but that also kind of set the tone for us traveling. That was 25 years ago or more. She was 2.
Yeah, it's more than 25 years.
That was more than 25 years ago. Wow. Time flies when you're having a good time. The question that someone told me to put in here is, what do you wish someone told you about couple travel before we started? But I don't think we ever asked anybody. And I think me and you just got to do our own thing anyway. I didn't have any questions about traveling with you until you put me in a car for 36 hours with you. Then I had questions.
This has just been a series of unfortunate events.
Yep. What's the one word you could think of that kind of describes either us or me as a travel companion?
What one word?
Yeah, or one phrase.
One word that describes you.
One polite word that describes me
as a travel companion.
As a travel companion.
Prepared.
Prepared. Thank you. Thank you. And for you, I actually...
If you remember to pack everything.
If I brought my bras with us. And see, for you, I'd say curious.
I got to go to CVS.
I would say curious, except when we're driving. Because when we're driving, you're getting to wherever we're going. And I'm the kind of person that's like, oh, look at that. Let's pull over. And you're like, no, we're going someplace. And we have to get there. But
I got much better
No.
when we went down to Tennessee.
Yes, yeah. Because I told you, this is the way it's going to be.
Right. And we had that little discussion in the car whether or not we should pull off at that one state park.
Yep.
We were like, nah, it's these arches. And I would just keep going. We'll just keep going. And your sister,
who stopped and took all those beautiful pictures.
Your sister stopped and smelled the roses.
Yep.
I was like, ah.
Of course she did. Well, I don't know if this episode's helped you decide to go out and travel as a couple or just helped you get to know me and Rob better. Maybe a little bit of both.
And hopefully it was slightly entertaining. I certainly laughed a couple of times. My eyes are moist. Thank goodness we're not on video.
I will hopefully get you on video sooner or later.
I don't have a black smudge on my face today, do I?
No.
Oh, good.
No. Rob does weld at work, which is hence the black smudge when he's not building things with wood.
Yes, the latest batch of metal has been quite greasy.
But anyway, folks, that has been episode 34 of The Adventures of Two Great Minds.
34.
Yeah.
That's 17 times 2, by the way.
Thank you, Robert. He's really good with math. I'm not. He's a carpenter. I'm a finance person. Don't ask. Anyway.
It was a pleasure talking with all of you again. As usual, if you have any questions or constructive feedback, we'd love to hear from you.
Our email is 2graymice@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Instagram at 2graymicepodcast. Yep, that's it.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay.
And please like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this, and tell your friends to listen to it too, because that's the only way we're going to get people to listen to it, I guess. Right? Yep.
Well, yeah, that and be entertaining.
That's true. Quality. Anyway.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Meg.
And we are
two gray mice. Have a good week, folks.
Bye-bye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.